Hey guys, how's it going? It's Calvin Rab, and there's a lot of talk about the upcoming recession and the upcoming correction, and in this video, I didn't really want to talk about that specifically, but I wanted to talk about how you should invest during the recession, specifically pertaining to the stock market. Which stocks should you buy to prepare yourself for the upcoming recession that maybe during the recession, you might be able to make some money. So in this video, I'm going to go over 7 different stocks or fields that you should be looking into that will allow you to maybe make more money while everyone else is losing money in the stock market. So let's jump into what those 7 are. And if you're new here, my name is Calvin Rab. I make videos all about personal finance, so if you're interested in that at all, I would love it if you would subscribe. Kicking it off with number 1 is discount or cheap stores. Now examples could include places like Dollar Tree or Walmart. The best way to find your stock is think about it. If you didn't have much money, if the economy is struggling, where are you gonna buy your stuff? You still need clothes, you still need food. Where are you gonna go? And oftentimes, millions of people are gonna be asking that same question. So you can find the places that will do well or business will increase during a recession. Number 2 is cheap food stores. Now, oftentimes when people think of this, the first thing you're gonna think of are fast food places like McDonald's, but you can also think of places like even grocery stores that have cheap or affordable food. And the reason is because food is a life essential. And even during a stock market crash, you still gotta eat. You still gotta buy your food. So try to think of the places that people would go to during a recession or when there wasn't much money. Ideally, you want to think of places that are both cheap and healthy, would kind of be the best of both worlds, and just think of what you would do and you can invest in different stocks like that. Number 3, and this is pharmaceutical or medical stocks. And the reason for this is because even during a recession, unfortunately, your illness, your injury doesn't care about the economy, and it can happen at any time, and it probably will. So yes, the economy may be in the dumps, but people still need hospitals. It is still part of one's life essentials out there. So you can find stocks that are within this field. Oftentimes it is a little tricky because there are just so many different pharmaceutical stocks out there. I would just look at the big guys. Personally, that's what I did. I looked at United Health and Johnson & Johnson and different places like that. And you can kind of, it helps with diversifying your portfolio as well, getting involved with these pharmaceutical stocks. Number 4, and this is kind of much more of a broad term, but I do want to discuss it. It is the other life essentials. So we talked about the life essentials of clothing, of food, and of course medical, but there are other things. Just think of during a recession, what is it that you still need? You still need basic things like even like haircuts. You can think of places like that, but also think of places like trash companies. You know, the big one, most common one is going to be a place like Waste Management. Even during a recession, they still are doing business. Oftentimes during a recession, their business isn't cut that much because we still need our trash to be picked up. And a big way to think of as just kind of an ideology around finding stocks like this is think of these unsexy businesses. And what I mean by that is I'm calling kind of tech and different entrepreneurship stocks that are out there as being kind of sexy businesses, meaning everyone has Facebook and Amazon, but oftentimes tech companies do drop during a recession because tech can go, it's expendable, it's not a life essential. But different big companies out there, think of life essentials and try to find the stocks that go with them. Number 5, now in complete honesty, I'm kind of mixed on this one, and that is dividend stocks. A reason that it is good is because in a way it is a guaranteed return, because if you buy a stock with a 2% dividend, then you are guaranteed to get that 2%. However, you're not guaranteed a specific amount because the stock price does fluctuate, and that dividend yield is reliant on that stock price. So if you are going to be investing in dividends just to get that guaranteed return, you do want to find a good healthy stock underlying it, because if you get $10 through dividends but the stock price went down 30-40 bucks, then you ended up losing more money than you would have gained. So I am mixed in that it's great that it's guaranteed, but it's not so great that it is reliant on a fluctuating stock price. But if you find a good stock stock that can do well during a recession, then it's a win-win. Number 6 are ETFs, also known as exchange traded funds. And essentially all these is you can just think of it as a basket of stocks. Oftentimes it's within a particular field. So if I had an ETF that is full of different pharmaceutical stocks, then if one company fails, their stock plummets, then I'm not hurt too much because hopefully the other guys wouldn't have failed and they're doing pretty well. ETFs, and especially diversification, is important when it comes to investing for a recession, because when you're preparing for a recession, you don't know what's going to fail. And if you have all your eggs in just a couple of stocks and one fails, your portfolio can take a big hit. I think of it like the 2008 crash we had your money been invested in one of the banks that failed, or different housing stocks that are out there, if you had just been invested in that and they failed, then your portfolio would have also failed as well, or just not done well. So it's important to diversify, and not only does that mean buying an ETF, but it means buying maybe ETFs in different fields and just really diversifying your money so you are prepared if one or a few of the companies fail during the upcoming recession. Number 7, and this one is monopoly-like companies. And what I mean by this are companies that are out there that act like a monopoly, or they kind of look like a monopoly, because everyone that buys from them is, you have to essentially buy from them because either they're the only big company within that field, or the other competitors are not nearly as good, so everyone goes to that one company. And the reason you're going to want to look for companies like this is because during a recession, if everyone still has to buy from them, there's no other competitor to make prices cheaper, then they're still going to do well during a recession. So an example of this could be somewhere like Amazon. Amazon is in my opinion, what looks to be like a monopoly-like company. It doesn't officially have the monopoly title, and that's a whole different discussion. My economics majors out there, I would love to have that discussion with you, but that's another day. But it does look like kind of a monopoly. People are always going to use it. Even during a recession, we know that Amazon is still going to grow, and it's still going to be bought from, or at least purchased from, or used during a recession. Even if there isn't as much money in the economy, it'll still be making money. But Amazon might be the most obvious one. There are other ones. You can think of it in the food industry, a place like General Mills. They own so many different companies, big brand companies. You'd be like, wow, they're owned by one person. It's kind of crazy. But there's also different places like Clorox Co. and different things like that. Just places that have a monopoly over a specific domain or a certain field. So those are the 7, but I do want to mention, I made a whole nother video about investments you can make, places you can put your money that will give you a guaranteed return. So I recommend checking that video out. You'll find a whole lot of new ideas there. The reason a lot of those ideas aren't in this video are because a lot of them don't have to do with stocks. They're different places you can put your money that aren't stocks, and this was specific to the stock market. So I recommend checking that video as well if you're trying to invest in the stock market, or just invest your money during a recession that will give you a guaranteed return. So I recommend checking that out. But as far as like a closing thought, this kind of idea about investing during a recession is the best way to really see what will do well is to look historically, because the stock market is pretty repetitive. And if you just look back to 2008, or even back in the early 2000s during the dot-com crash, look at the stocks that did well. And oftentimes, if they did well through 2008, that probably means they're going to do well in the upcoming recession. So I recommend going and checking those out as well. If you're looking at a stock, just look at its history and see how it did, and that can oftentimes be a good indicator of how it will do in the future. And then one thing that people mention that I personally don't like is a lot of people then invest in different inverse stocks, or they short the economy. And this is very popular during a recession, and you can make quite a bit of money doing it. But personally, I really do not like betting against the economy, because there's just a lot more of a chance to lose your money, because I know that in the long run, stocks will go up. They're not going to go down in the short run. They may be going down in the short run, but in the long run, they will go up. So I don't like shorting the economy or anything like that. Personally, it's not my game. Some people can make money through it, but I never like betting against the economy. I would rather just find stocks that will do well. But that will wrap it up. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys learned learned something from it, but I do want to turn it to you guys. There are a lot of smart investors out there that I know watch my videos, and I want to know, what stocks are you buying to prepare for the upcoming recession? What are you buying right now that is helping you prepare for this correction? Let me know in the comments below. We can all help one another out, and let's just have a good conversation down there. But that will wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys are new here, my name is Calvin Rabb. Here I make videos all about personal finance. So if you're interested in that, I would love it if you would subscribe. The reason I make these videos are because I truly believe that personal finance can be fun. And when you subscribe, you will find new videos here every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So be sure to check those out and just stay tuned to this channel for more. But that will wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. As always, my name is Calvin Rabb, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.